Hello and welcome, Synapse community. This week I'm going to be giving a little public service announcement about the effort that we put into our exercise and activities that we practice. Why is this important? That's because if you are out there exercising or practicing different skills that you are wanting to get better at, then I want to make sure that you are getting the most out of your time so that you have the best changes that you can, okay? And I'm also saying this because I want you to find the right amount of push to what you do so that you are challenging yourself enough, but also not frustrating yourself through having too many difficulties. So in this, we're gonna talk about what I'm gonna consider the golden ratio of effort when we are doing exercise and activity. So if we are gonna just give you a number for that golden ratio, we're gonna say that it's about a 7 out of 10 or a 70%. And we're gonna talk about how that applies to many different skills that we might do. So let's take aerobic exercise to start off with. Your cardio workout, that could be a brisk walk, a jog, it could be on your treadmill, it could be on an exercise bike, it could be in your rock steady boxing classes, it could be a multitude of things, but whatever you are doing that's getting your heart rate up and your blood pumping, that you're doing repetitively, we're gonna consider that aerobic work. Now, we know that the research out there says that you're going to get your best benefit. You're gonna get the most benefit for your brain, for the neuroprotection of the brain when you are working at about a 7 out of 10 intensity. All right, and that is based on your perceived exertion. So if we look at a 1 through 10 scale, all right, 1 through 10, 1 is like, I barely feel like I'm doing anything. I'm sitting on a couch, I'm breathing easy, no difficulty. 10 is you're engaged in an activity and it is so hard that you don't think you could go on another moment, okay? So if that's the range, we wanna aim for a 7 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10, but somewhere around that 7 out of 10 when we are doing exercise. Now, if you are newer to doing aerobic conditioning or if you've been dealing with an injury, please ease into that. We want to make sure that it's something that is right for you, okay? But if you have been cleared to exercise and you've been doing it for a while, we want to make sure that you are getting the most by pushing yourself to that 7 or 8 out of 10 intensity. And what that would look or feel like is that it feels challenging. It feels really challenging at that level. It's hard. You can't really have a conversation with the person next to you as you're doing that because you're breathing really hard, but you're able to keep doing it for a little while longer, okay? Now let's say you can still get some benefits to exercising at maybe a 5 out of 10 intensity, but that's gonna be a little bit slower pace, something that you could continue for longer, maybe have a conversation with somebody next to you, although it might be a little bit labored as you're doing that. All right, once we go beyond that though, we don't want you working out at a 9 or a 10, right? That's just gonna be too much. It's gonna lead to injury, it's gonna lead to too much exhaustion, and you're not gonna get the benefit out of that. So we wanna stay in that sweet spot of pushing yourselves enough so that you're getting the most benefit, but not overdoing it. Now, when it comes to other activities, let's say like skill training of some type, maybe you're working on your balance, or maybe you're doing some brain games, some cognitive games, things like that. We can also apply this rule to other types of activities that we do. Things where you practice and you might make an error, but you keep on practicing. So when it comes to that, again, we're shooting for 7 out of 10, that's 70%, right? We're not going for the 100%. That's not what we're doing here. But when it comes to this type of activity, what we again are looking for is that we are pushing ourselves so that we are challenging our body and our brain in whatever activity we're doing if we're learning a new skill. But we're not making it too easy for ourselves either. So let's say if I'm practicing something and I get it right 100% of the time without any errors, then I'm not gonna learn. My brain sees no reason to learn if it's so easy. There's nothing to learn if I'm already acing it. So you wanna increase your challenge level then so that you are making it so that you are failing, all right, some of the time. Maybe you're failing about 30% of the time. Let's say you're practicing standing on one leg and maybe you have to step out 3 times within those 30 seconds that you're practicing, okay? That's okay because you're giving yourself a challenge, an appropriate challenge. Now, let's say on the other hand, if you do something that's so hard that you're failing, that you're having too hard, you can't complete the activity, 50% of the time or less, then it's probably too much of a challenge and you're gonna get frustrated and your brain's not gonna learn either in that scenario. So for optimal learning, we need to have a success rate of about 70, 80%, again, maybe 60. It depends on the person, okay? If you're somebody that needs some more encouragement, then a higher success rate is better. And if you are somebody that likes a good challenge, then you can take a little higher failure rate in that activity. Okay, but that is the general rule of thumb. We can apply the same thing to strength training. If you are lifting weights or doing a certain type of strength exercise and you're doing repetitions of that movement, those last 2 or 3 movements should be challenging to do. It should be so that you struggle to do those last lifting of the weight, okay? It shouldn't be too easy. If you show up to any workout or to any skill practice and can breeze through the workout, you are not challenging yourself enough and you're not learning, okay? Again, if you're showing up and feeling frustrated back to back to back, also not a good fit. We need to find something that is right for you where you are at. And so with that, I recommend that you work with a professional, all right? Maybe in a class, maybe in therapy, so that they can help you figure out your appropriate level for challenge. And it should change over time. Where you are at today is not where you're gonna be a month from now, a year from now, because you will improve with practicing these skills, okay? So that is my public service announcement for you today. Work on your effort. Make sure that you bring that energy and intention to what you are doing, pushing and challenging yourself with each activity. Have a good week. This video is brought to you by Synapse Fitness Foundation, a nonprofit empowering people with Parkinson's to live their best lives through exercise, education, and connection to others. The presenter of today's video is Dr. Kelly Becker, physical therapist and founder of Synapse Fitness Foundation. If you found today's video useful, please click the like button and forward this video onto somebody that you think would find this useful. Thank you.